For sure. Hi, friends. Welcome back to another video. This time we are just chatting a little bit about our St. Louis pen show experience for 2025. This was a little bit different than last year for sure because I was a little bit more prepared, and I even made some notes of what I'm going to be talking about. They're not anything like out of this world, but I just want to follow an order. Um, First of all, we have here our overall experience. Overall experience was fantastic. Although I think the show to me seemed a little bit slower than last year. Um, so like just maybe one day, it was still an overall great experience. I think it's always like the people, the friends, um, the shopping that makes a pen show, right? So I had a great time. I saw friends. I think, did I meet new people? I'm trying to remember. I'm sure I did, but I'm just blanking right now. I'm sure I met a ton of people, and that's kind of what's challenging sometimes. Is like sometimes I take three times to see the same person for it to register. At least for me. But anyway, I had fun. Um, this time, um, I did prepare a little bit more of my packing. I think I was watching my video of the last year's show, and surprisingly, I don't remember this, but I only took one checked bag, and then I think two, like a carry on and a personal item, which was surprising to me because if I remember correctly, I took with me a bunch of notebooks, but I was looking and I only took two inks. This time, um, I knew I wanted to prioritize my inks, so I took two checked bags in which I shared the load of the inks. I took a lot of inks, and so each bag had two boxes, and I think honestly that took up most of the the weight capacity of each bag. I think I flew Southwest, so each bag gets 50 pounds, and the night before. I was just desperately trying to fit as much as possible. And then, of course, I went to weigh my bags and they were like 54 pounds. I'm like, oh, this is just not going to fly. And of course, my like personal bags were um, like the carry on, and then my personal bag was just full of stuff. So I'm like, if they were to tell me like I need to take stuff out, I would either have to pay extra for the weight or throw it away at the airport. So that neither of those were options. So eventually, I decided on a few things to remove, and then move some things around so that I could put the heavier stuff into my check bags. But that worked out. I'm gonna show you a little picture of like what my setup looked last year compared to this year, and you will see like that's something I stepped up again also this year. And I kind of practiced this at the inaugural Chicago Stationery Fest this year. And because that worked out well for me for my setup, I decided to, just keep that going. The only thing that changed for this time was my ink setup because I wanted to just show more ink on the table rather than my usual ink setup. And so, it's just taking advantage of that vertical space. And I think I've had some people approach me and ask about my table setups. So I think I'll make a separate video just to talk about all of those things, and then I even provide the links. Um, Let me see. Oh yeah, it says here. I kind of moved a little too fast. Setup versus last year. Yeah. Um, and I think so. This is interesting. Going along with the setup, one thing that happened at the show was that there was a Purina business sales meeting going on prior to the pen show starting. So when we got there on Thursday, um, that Purina crowd was still there until 5 p.m. And so we weren't able, like some of the vendors, myself included, I like to set up early so that I can just, go chat with people, mingle, and then just be ready to go for the next day. Um, and we weren't unfortunately able to set up until like 8 p.m. And that was because from 5 p.m. until like 8 p.m. they were rearranging the ballroom from that classroom style to more of like a pen show setup with like tables back to back, with aisles for people to walk through. So um yeah, I mean, we were as patient as possible, and it was nobody's fault. We couldn't blame anybody, and we weren't going to. But yeah, the hotel crew was a little bit stressed about that, unfortunately. But my table was pretty much arranged in its spot, so I was able to set up immediately. And I think I only took like maybe an hour and a half or so just to take out my displays and start setting some things up. And I timed myself after the show. And this is, I'm moving a little too fast now, but it only took me maybe an hour tops to pack everything up. So that's good for me to know for the next show on how much time to allow myself before I need to get on a plane. Um, but that's a whole nother conversation. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is, let me see, is there anything else that I'm missing that I'm forgetting? Um, I don't think so. Um, the next thing that we are going to talk about is my pen show purchases. So, the first thing that I purchased was the pen show ink. So I got two bottles of the St. Louis, the mini KWZ Meet Me in St. Louis. And I already forgot the color. Let me see if the label says it. No, it doesn't say it. Just says St. Louis Pen Show 2025. Anyway, um, I got two bottles of that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep both bottles, honestly. I don't know if I want to give the other one away or sell it, but I that's I'll decide on that later. And here's a little swatch of the ink. I was given the opportunity to check it out before the show, so I did make a little swatch of it. And then Inky Converters, Angela from Inky Converters had done like a show sticker. Let me see if this will zoom in. There you go. Super cute. So I got two of them um, for my journal and then for my book. And then I also got a little blotter paper. So that's super cute. So those were immediate purchases. Um, and then now, like we just talked about Inky Converters. So another thing that I actually went direct to Angela to her table, um, and I got a few things. I don't know if you can see. I'll try to put a little picture. I don't want to move this. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna try to move like to show a little picture of this, but it's a little ink bottle with the pride flag. So that's super cute. I bought it for my lanyard. It's this lanyard, so it'll forever always go with me. I bought these three. I bought three of this sticker, which says Stationery. Super cute. So I have three of them. Um, Also, I got a sticker book. I already had one of these, but I wanted another one that I can cut to like traveler's notebook size. I know they have their own, but I'm like, well, she's already there, so I'm gonna get one. And something that I don't have in front of me, but I got from Angela, was a kit of band-aids. Because something that I've noticed is that when I'm digging into my cash bag that I carry at pen shows, sometimes the pen show space can be a little dry, and so I start to get hangnails. And then the more I keep digging into my cash bag, the more I start getting um I guess my hangnails keep getting worse, and then like it really starts to hurt. So I just put band-aids on them, and I'm good to go. So I grabbed some pen show or yeah fountain pen themed band-aids, and I'll provide a picture here so you can see it. And they'll be living in my bag, so I'll take them everywhere. So I think that was it from Angela's table. I was gonna get socks, but I for some reason I didn't. Um, let's see. Oh, and right next to Angela was PB and Jillian. I'm not sure if that's her her shop's name, but that's her name on Instagram. She's a fantastic artist. I met her last year. Um, and she had some really cool stickers and greeting cards. So here's one. It says greetings from St. Louis. It's better than it looks. And I just thought that was so cute. Let me see. Zoom, please. Oh, there you go. So I bought two of them just because they were so cute and a few little stickers. I may just grab a picture and put it right here so you can see them because I'm not gonna be doing all that here. But they're super, super fun, super cute. Uh, I love the little ope. It's a very Midwestern thing to do. I grew up in Indiana, so we say that all the time. Oh, I forgot why it came in here. It's a little pigeon, and yeah, just super cute stuff. And then, um, so Sugar Turtle was also there, but he was pretty busy with workshop, so I'm pretty happy. And then the times he was at his table, I couldn't even get away, or like there were so many people. Well, there were not that there were many people on my table. There were people, looking at my table, so I had to like run back to my table just to see if they needed help with anything. And so I actually never got anything from Tom, but I will next time. Um, the next thing, oh, here, one of my I forget there is a fantastic vendor at pen shows who makes wands out of wood and makes pens that also are also wands. And they gave me a little dragon. Let me see if you can. Yeah, it's like I think it's resin mold dragon. So super cute for my desk. So I got that. It was a little freebie, so thank you. And then the next table, this is in no particular order. This is just how I actually don't remember what was the progression of my purchases, but that doesn't matter. But turns out that Kaleido Craft was right behind me, and they were at the Chicago Pen Show as well, but we were in separate rooms. So, and that was a pretty busy show that I just the one time I made it down there, I think they were busy, so I just never got to their table. Because I did go down there at least twice. One was to just look really quickly, and the second one was to purchase two pens. Um, but surprisingly, they were right behind me. We were neighbors through the entire show, and they were so amazing. Um, and now I see why people were like leaving their table with like 20 items purchased, right? Because first of all, it was um very affordable and just super cute stuff. So for example, here's a little dip pen that's 3D printed and it can fit kakimori dip pens. Sorry, kakimori nibs or like any of those calligraphy nibs. So I'm super excited for my little dip pen. I got this little sample or like pen holder for my desk in this like little melted ice cream cone. Super cute. I also bought a little like lotus charm for my traveler's notebook. It's super adorable. And then they gifted me I think a little St. Louis bluebird. Super cute. So I'll try to put a picture because I think it's gonna be blurry here. And then and then they gifted me this like fidget pen. It's just super cool. And I think it takes gel pen inserts. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's just so many toys. They had all the fun stuff, all the colorful, cute toys. So yeah. And then I think the next day I saw that Sugar Turtle, Tom from Sugar Turtle, bought this little guy, this little monster. And even though it's a pen holder, you can also put your phone here. So um, I got two, one for me and one for my partner. I got this color, and my partner chose a green and blue one. And I feel like I'm missing something that I purchased from the Kaleidocraft table, but I don't know. Maybe that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. Something I did completely forget to mention though is that when packing for the show, I realized again the night before that I hadn't packed any of my pens, any of my notebooks, none of my personal stationery stuff was packed because I had no space for it. So what I did was I put a pen in this little Ziploc bag and put it with my cash. This was so sad. I was only able to take one pen. And I took one small little notebook because I'm trying to remember at the Chicago Pen Show, did I take any notebooks? I just knew I needed some paper because, yeah. But anyway, but at the St. Louis Pen Show, I did make a pen purchase from Analog Notes, and I already left the bag somewhere else. But again, because of my traveling setup, I put it in my little Ziploc bag. Because my friend Angela actually let me fill the pen with one of her inks. I'll show the picture of the ink here because I don't remember the name. But I think it's a Japanese exclusive. And this is the pen that I got. It's a super, super cool pen. I think this is I'm gonna butcher micarta material. And it's got a cool little surprise because the section is like this blue, almost reminds me of like the Franklin Christoph diamond cast, but I don't think it is diamond cast. So yeah, I inked it up with this yellow ink. I got a trusty dusty medium nib as per usual, as one does. Um, and it's inked up, and I actually haven't used it yet because I was waiting for this to make this video before I did. Um, I inked it up at St. Louis, and I also put it in here because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get on this plane, and if like something happens, like at least it's here. Um, I think that was it for all of my purchases. And now that I'm talking about like accidents on the plane, I only had one small, um, I guess not accident, but casualty. Yeah, casualty with one of my ink bottles. Um, most of them did okay. Again, I had 4 boxes of ink, and my Amarillo branded bottles. One of them, a blue bottle, somehow leaked, um, and it in turn affected two neighboring bottles. It just completely soaked them. Let's see if I can grab a picture, but I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. Um, would it be any different if I were to ship them? Maybe, because I'm hoping like the pressure change is different. I'm not sure. But you know, it is what it is. I think the two boxes that got soaked, I think I can just change or take the bottles and transfer them to a new box for each, and then the one blue bottle that spilled, I think I can just keep it myself or maybe give it away. Um, but yeah, that was it for my St. Louis pen show experience. The dinners were wonderful. Let me see. Just sorry, I gotta talk about food. On Thursday, I got there and I met up with Kimberly from All the Hobbies, and we grabbed a late lunch um, at the hotel's restaurant, and I grabbed a burger. And then in the evening, in the after we were all set up, I think I went down to the bar again. Um, and I saw Kirk from Penrealm and Julia were at the bar. Julia from Hi Julia here, and I joined them. And Kirk off like I was of course gonna get my own food. I wasn't expecting to just like join a table and have people pay for me. But Kirk was so kind, and he got my drink and my food, which I already forget what I had. I think it was a burger again. Um, no, it was nachos. It was nachos, and it was so good. They were so good, so yummy. So that was Thursday. Friday, um, a few of us, like I think four of us, Tori from Stationery Universe, Kimberly from All the Hobbies, and Angela from Inky Converters, and myself, we went to this. Now I think it's Indian food. It's like vegan slash vegetarian Indian food. I'll put the name here, but it was so yummy. I knew of that place because I went last year with Anna from Well Appointed Desk and a few others, and it was just so good. I was like, oh my god, I need to go back to that place, and it was just yummy. There was some sort of event happening in one half of the restaurant, so that was a little chaotic, but also thankfully we got there in time to order food because um, there was a some sort of storm happening and the lights went out and like it knocked off the menus and like everything. So that was poor things. But we got our food thankfully, and it was super yummy. I got a coconut, a fresh coconut, and then after I was done, they shaved the coconut, and I was able to just eat the actual fruit. And so that was Friday. Saturday, I was so tired that I think I got food at the bar, and Angela joined me from Inky Converters, and I think again I had a burger that time, just because I was like, I'm mentally exhausted. Just give me what I've had before and call it a day. So that was great because we didn't have to go anywhere, and it was pretty easy. And then of course Sunday, you just pack and go to the airport, and I had some really yummy Asian food, Chinese food right from the airport. So that was really yummy. Of course, when you're hungry, everything is delicious. But yeah, I think that was it for the dinners. I had such a great time. I'll see if I can post any pictures of like anything that I took, but I don't remember taking much. Um, but of course like the vendors and everything. So anyway, that was my time at the St. Louis Pen Show. From a vendor standpoint, it is well run. This time I did not enter any of like, I entered the raffle of course, but I didn't win anything. But I didn't bid on anything because there wasn't anything that was calling my name. I wasn't attracted to anything. um and as always, it's just well run. Like they have a ton of volunteers that can offer to watch your table while you go and get lunch. And then the show attendees, um, both vendors and guests, the hotel included a free breakfast. So that was so yummy. So every morning I would wake up at 6:15, like get ready, and then be down for breakfast at 6:30. So it was great. Yeah, overall a great little experience. There was no live music this time around that I recall, and it was super hot as usual. But still great experience. If you're considering it for next year, I would highly encourage it. It's a small show, but pretty walkable. You can probably take a day or 2 days to walk through everything. I would say two if you want to like stay the night and then share your pens, your inks, and with other show attendees at night. It's just a great location, great people. Yeah, great little time. So, anyway, friends, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you again next time. Bye bye.